This one, it's called Eternal Return of Top 40. Wow, we have these like music list poems tonight. But mine's not a list. It's not as energetic. Let's see. Am I paralyzed? Right now, I am so still. I could be paralyzed. There's no one to check. I don't have it in me to check again. But that, right there, that disobedient wrist confirms it. Let the thrashing commence. Why can't I shimmer like a ginger dog whose past life was spent in medieval peasantry? Why can't I wear ribbons? These are old questions, old ruminations. Like if a sock is the same sock, if it's darned of all its thread. Like we are darned of every cell after so many years, which is nature forgiving us over and over. But the frail strands that remember our first selves replicate their own frailty, till we resemble gaunt furniture made of driftwood, sold alongside the road. We will be passed by cars and partake of their brief and muffled music. Okay. So this poem mentions Mary, and that's a reference to Mary Prince, who wrote the first female slave narrative. It's called Way of Life. Like in those old plays, where the sexy are penniless and the filthy old men completely ugly rich, those colonial masterworks, where it's all Meg Ryan types and Tom Hanks, or Hugh Grant and his uncle Charlie Heston, who's impotent but loaded, and Hugh, a bit of a moocher but worth it, and Tom has gotten the maid pregnant, and she's black, but thank God dies in childbirth, and Tom does it honorable and sends it off to school. The women dressing like men and pulling their hair back, asking themselves, what if we weren't such slaves of love? If our days weren't chained to the small, repetitive task of doubting ourselves, of wondering if we're good enough to wed, like Mary, laboring all day in the salt ponds with boils on her feet, that kind of torment. But it's not 1688. It's not even the 90s anymore. We're Meg Ryanless, and Natalie Portman's earrings and bra, and really your earrings and bra and iPhone too, have been assembled by Mexicans and Africans and Chinese, who Tom will never see, so at least he can't rape, unless he's on vacation. Slaves who touched everything we touch. They crowd around Natalie like cherubim, who live in factory dorms or slums outside maquiladoras contemplating suicide. Natalie's in silver, chiffon, and sweatpants, and barefoot when the doorbell saves her from another lonely Friday night. That after-rebel feel of a national disaster, of a tragedy. I was in Napa a couple of summers ago for this wedding, and I was at this like really bad motel, like right on the side of the highway, and there was this woman there by the pool. Like I took my little cousin down to the swim, and she was like at the pool, like drinking Coors, talking on her cell phone, lounging back, and she was talking to someone and saying, "Oh, I'm just in Napa for the weekend." And so I thought, I was thinking about what does Napa mean when she's using it. So that's sort of the origin of this. It's called Outlook Crooning. No world on string, nor make the rain go. I'm in Napa, she says, a woman in a plaid pink hat. We're all in a kind of Napa. And the little marks around my eyes, finicky marks. Nothing wrapped. For example, some get off watching women clean windows. Many things might have been beautiful. A motel swimming pool, a woman in a plaid hat drinking Coors, vague skies, fingertips pressed to glass. Simple that. Shouldn't boo-hoo. Got no ocean in my nose, no dawning idea. But clothes, Christmas. Suppose I worked spotting fires in some forested nowhere, all day through the scope with my Charlie over. Suppose such a lofted thing, corrugated, serene, distant tufts of smoke. And this last one is called On Dogs. It is completely about dogs. Dogs and children stare. They are allowed. Dogs wait outside like children. They wait in the car trying to keep up beat. They lift their heads for love, for their happy bodies to be touched again. Some dogs have haircuts from the 1980s. Some dogs are always smiling, like Jan from work. A dog knows how not to press, not to live a life he doesn't really want. This dog smiles and shivers in the shadowed doorway, the profile of his head a monument. He is multiplied in glass bricks that kaleidoscope the street. How do we account for the constant suffering and agitation of dogs? Is it their chemistry at birth, or their submission? But we too find ourselves suddenly abandoned and feel like lying down again in the sun-warmed street. Thank you.